Hello, my friends. Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa Stringworks Workshop. It is Wednesday, September 20th, sprinkling here on the farm this morning. And I thought, what the heck, I've got a short one for you because I didn't sleep good last night and I overslept this morning. And so I got anything and everything you see this morning was done in the last 20-25 minutes. So here we go. I'm an old dirt farmer, I scrape a living from the soul. Like my father before me, I labor and toil. But my father said, son, you should move away. He said, farm life is dying. Son, please don't stay. So I moved to the city and I tried to fit in. But I thought of my father and how the crops would get in. And I could hear him say, son, you should move away. He said, farm life is dying. Son, please don't stay. I returned for a visit, but I was too late. My father lay dying, and I knew it was fate. But he turned and said, son, you should move away. But I just couldn't leave him, and he knew I would stay. Now I'm an old dirt farmer, I scrape a living from the soul. And like my father before me, I labor and toil. The whole time I was singing that, this gnat kept flying around. I kept thinking he was going in my mouth. It's like, golly, it's not enough to think about. You got something stupid like that and you're, oh my gosh. That was Dirt Farmer, a song I wrote whenever they were going through the farm crisis and foreclosing on all the family farms back in the early 80s. It was a really terrible time, in my opinion. It changed America a lot, and I'm not sure it changed it for the better. The family farms were foreclosed upon because they couldn't keep up. And it went to the big conglomerate farms, and you had to be big or just get out. The old go big or go home. That's the way it turned out, and as you can tell, that's the way it is these days. You don't really find anybody making a living on a small family farm anymore. That just doesn't happen. Other than a YouTuber. Before we get into the whole program today, and because I overslept, I thought, let's add a new segment. We won't do this every day, but we'll do it every once in a while. It's called Mystery Items. I got 2 mystery items. I'll try not to give you too many clues here, and I just want to see during the live show, if you can put in your comments what you think these items are. One of these 2, I think you'll get fairly quickly. The other one, I kind of doubt very many will get it, although I think there will be 1 or 2 maybe get it. This first one might be gettable by a few people, but I don't know that very many will get this. But I think you might get this one better than the other item, actually. You can see it up here. I'll get it up close. You can see how it's made. You can pretty well tell it's homemade. I think some of you might get this just by the way it looks. So this is item number 1. So we'll just call it 1. I'm trying not to give any clues on this because if I gave a clue, you'd probably figure it out pretty quickly. All right, this next one, I don't think very many will get this one. What this is. It's just a short piece of chain. You know, maybe it's 16 inches worth of chain, a steel plate with a triangular hole. That's all it is. Can you figure out what these two items are? Put your guesses in the comments, and we'll proceed with the rest of the program, and you can guess during the program, and at the end we'll try to reveal. If I don't forget, you'll have to remind me, because you know me, I can forget stuff pretty quickly. It was sprinkling rain this morning as I walked my commute to work, and yeah, you know, it seems like probably that we've been getting quite a bit of rain, and in a way we have. But every rain has just been like a sprinkle. Or it'll be a heavy downpour, but only last just long enough to ruin the hay. I mean, like it's not a real rain. It's just enough to like ruin the hay or just barely dust the ground. You know what I mean? Like it's not enough to soak in. So all the rains we've had, which we've had quite a few, we're kind of thankful for that. But they've just been very light rains. So I'm hoping we're going to get one that's going to bring the springs back up today. All right, you know, a long soaking rain would be perfect. Well, yesterday I mentioned we had 97,323 subs. Today we have 97,360. So we grew by about, 37 or something like that? Yeah, I think that's it. I'm not real good on math. I shouldn't do that on screen, live anyway. Just a reminder, we have a live show with the band here on the last Thursday of this month, which is September 28th, so basically 8 days from today. Gina Huizinga, the fiddle girl, how I always, because her name's so difficult to say, Gina Huizinga, I just call her fiddle girl. And Nat went right by again. Anyway, so she's going to be here that night, and she's the one that always smiles. So those of you who always want us to smile, you'll enjoy having her on there. We're doing a live show at the Lyric Live Theater on September 30th, 7 p.m. That's in Newburgh, Missouri. Come join us on that if you can. Mountain View, Arkansas, we'll be down there October 19th through October 22nd, and we'll have a lot of just friends down there. It's just jammers is all it'll amount to. And if you want to go and attend that, then just send me an email, and I will send you my text number where you can get a hold of us while we're down there. Later today, Cash will be here for his guitar lesson. Since last lesson, he's been in Colorado. So kind of a whirlwind tour of Colorado because he was only there a few days, and he should be back today for the lesson. And don't know where we're at with Cash. He seems to be struggling breaking the independent thing, you know, or the dependent thing. I'm trying to get him to be independent. He's very, very, very dependent on pretty much anything and everything. It's like if I don't show him the step, he doesn't take the step. You know, I'm wanting him to start, you know, he's got to get the burn going, you know, and then the burn's not there. He enjoys it, he likes it, he wants to learn it, but yet he doesn't have that little burn in there to take that extra step on his own. You know, he hasn't developed that yet. I don't know why exactly, because most of the students that I've taught have that little desire, you know, to get out there and figure it out on their own, and he doesn't seem to have that yet. So hopefully that'll work out. I mentioned we had a viewer gift, so I want to thank Virgil Peterson, and he sent me a nice little card here, and card has looks like I don't know what, a Model T, I would think. I'm not sure what that is, but it looks like a Model T if I was guessing, or probably something else. And he sent me some popcorn, and this is Amish Country popcorn. I have actually had this brand of popcorn before. This specific variety, I'm not sure, maybe. But I have had a lot of these different varieties of popcorn, and they're very good. The Amish popcorns are especially good. This one says red, fewer holes. This one says blue, just a little sweeter. And I only noticed those two labels just now on camera. I didn't notice those before. And I honestly, and you believe what you want, but I honestly thought they looked exactly the same to me. Maybe there's a little difference in color. I don't know. But to me, they look the same. This one says red. This one says blue. But anyway, I thought they were the same variety. I didn't really know. But anyway, thank you very much, Virgil. I'll be snacking on those pretty much every night. I have popcorn pretty much every night. And you might think that's an odd thing because, a lot of people do have those nightly rituals. For me, it's not so much a nightly ritual. It's a dietary thing. Because of my incredibly strange diet where I don't eat any vegetables at all, zero, none, not any. My doctor says, well, the only problem with your diet, because he knows what all I eat, he says, really the only real problem with your diet is you don't get any roughage. And he said, you need to eat, do you like popcorn? He asked me, and I said, yeah, I love popcorn. He says, well, then you need to be eating popcorn pretty much every day. So I do. I eat it every night before I go to bed. It's what keeps me strong and healthy. Spinach for Popeye and popcorn for me. Okay, well, keep thinking about those mystery items. See if you can come up with them. The other thing I mentioned in the title today is a close look at a spider. And I'd also like to hear in the comments how you feel about spiders, if it's, a big deal or not a big deal. So here you go. If it's a big deal, you better look away. Look at that sucker. That's a brown recluse, and you can tell he's bigger than my head. Yeah, well, there might be a little bit of photographic trickery going on there, but yeah, he's bigger than my head. You can tell for sure it's a brown recluse. Can you look at that fiddle on his back? Don't you think it's incredibly ironic that we have so many brown recluse spiders in a luthier shop? I always found that funny that, this is the one spider that has a violin on his back, and we just have gazillions of them running around here. I mean, gazillions of them. They're everywhere. This isn't the only one. This is just the one that posed for the camera. So this is inside a cardboard box. That's, if you can't tell what he's in, it probably looks like a concrete wall. It looks like at the corner of a concrete wall, but it's a corner of a concrete box. It's got sawdust in it and everything else. And I was cleaning out the box. That's what I'm doing all day long, every day, it seems like, until we go to Ohio, is I'm just cleaning up stuff. I figured it's a good way to make use of my time between now and then. I don't want to get any big projects going or anything. And I'm just cleaning up stuff. And every single box, and I'm not exaggerating. You probably think I could be every box. I'm not lying to you. Every single box has at least one brown recluse spider in it. And I think it's like a territorial thing. Pretty much you only see one live spider in most every box. And if there are other spiders in there, they're skeletons. And they're just like dried up, almost like crepe paper. Very light, thin, wispy skeleton. That's all you'll find if it's not the live one. You know what I mean? I'm going to see if I can blow it up a little bit more, and you can see that violin on his back a little bit better. The violin is up, kind of upside down in the photo there. It's the neck is pointed down, if you can see it. I don't know if I can blow this up bigger, but I'm going to try. I've really never tried this before, live anyway. Yeah, I can do it, it looks like. So, but maybe you can see how big that how perfect the violin is formed on the back there. See, it really is a violin. I mean, it on some of them it even looks more violin than even this one. This one you can see it looks like violin, or maybe even an elongated guitar. It's upside down in the photo there. It's right behind his head, if you will. But on some of them, I'm not kidding you, that waist is even more defined, and it even looks even more like a violin. This one, slightly defined, but the other ones, some of them can look identical to a violin. I mean, you'd swear somebody painted a violin on their back. But anyway, we have our share of brown recluse. Guys, I think that's the whole program this morning. I was going to keep it kind of short, and I'll just go back to cleaning. But let's go through the comments and see what we have. I don't see a lot of comments going on today. Nobody's going to guess on what these items are. I don't know, 87 viewers so far. I don't think I'm just talking to myself, and I think you can hear me. So here we go. Ken Solo, good morning, everyone. Hope you all have a fantastic day. Dottie Hildebrand, hello, Jerry from sunny South Carolina. Well, hello. Terry Anth, spiders aside, good morning. Apparently he's not a fan. Howdy, good morning, everybody from Newt Edvin in Norway. Well, good to see you there, Newt. I'm glad you're joining us every day. So what time would it be? You'd be later in the day. You'd probably be about 8 hours later, I would assume, maybe 9 hours later. So let's see. Blair Turner, good morning from Calgary. Chuck Heidbrutter, maybe? I'm not sure. St. James, Missouri. Chuck again, yes. Let's see. Mike Bennett. Well, Chuck, you didn't come to the jam, I don't think, the last Thursday, or if you did, and you were sitting in the audience, you didn't introduce yourself. So I don't know who you are yet. So you need to tell me if you do come to those jams. They're on the second Thursday of the month, and they're at 7 o'clock at the Senior Center in St. James. Then we got Bill Mumbo. He says, hi, Stephen Braku. Love it, I remember. Mark Nedzen says, ding, 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 ding. Puller. Yes, that's what this is, a puller. And you might say, what is a puller? Well, I don't remember the reason I made it. I do not remember. But I had some little bolt or some little something that I couldn't get out of some place, and this would fit in there. This goes around the head of, like, say, the bolt or whatever I'm pulling, a pin or whatever. And this is the base, so you can slide this, like if it's an upright pin like this, you can slide this in here. Of course, this pin's too big to fit in there. But anyway, you slide it in there, and then the head of the bolt or the pin lays on this, and then you just keep tightening this, and this just raises it up until it pulls it out of whatever it's in. So it is a puller. It's just a little homemade, tiny little puller. I got all kinds of pullers. I probably have at least a half dozen different ones, and they're all different sizes, bigger and everything. But I needed a really tiny one day, obviously, and made this little tiny thing. And it worked. I do remember it worked. I just don't remember what I did it on. Let's see. We'll keep going before we won't read the other ones. Kathy Volts. Morning, Jerry from Southeast Florida. Own a plane. Wow, I caught it live. Well, glad you did. Chuck Heidbrutter, the plate with the triangle hole is to put over a T-post and used to pull the post out of the ground. Ding, 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 ding. You're from St. James. Guess where this came from? St. James! This was given to me by my friend Gene Hemme that I mentioned yesterday, has terminal cancer and is passing away. He is going to be dying from that disease in the next couple of months, and he knows it, and everybody knows it, and it's such a sad deal. But he's the one that made this for me, and we've used it quite a few times, and then I stuck it in one of those darn cardboard boxes with the spiders and couldn't find the darn thing, piled other stuff on top of it, and we needed it a little while back and couldn't find it, and now we found it again. So there you go. That's what it is. You put this over a T-post goes up through here. These metal steel posts that you wire your wire to. In other words, you just wrap a wire around your wire and wire it to the metal post. And so anyway, you slide this down over the post, and you lift up with this with your Bobcat bucket, and it just lifts. It just grabs the post and pulls it out of the ground. So that's what it is. Don't you find that ironic that a guy from St. James knew what this item from St. James was? You probably know Gene Hemme. Comment if you do. I would assume you probably do. Gene knows everybody. Let's see. Moving on here. Cup of Cool. Both of those are what Sue uses to contain you when the moon is full. No, she uses something slightly different. Ratchet straps mostly. Let's see. Blackjack guitar. Good morning, Jerry and Chatsters. Cheers. Bruce Hines. Good morning. Raz 1500. Item 1 is a puller to remove something. Yes, you are right. I kind of thought most of you would, or a number of you would get that one because it is made kind of like a puller. Jeff Pierce, we have the invasive Joro spiders here in North Georgia. They aren't dangerous unless you walk into a web, do the spider in my face dance, and blow out a knee. Jeff, you must be psychic because last night, and this is the first time I remember this ever happening, I got out of the car because I came back from the jam at Dickey's Barbecue last night. And by the way, that was a really, really good jam. It turned out really good. I think everybody there really enjoyed it. It was one of our best, I think. And anyway, I get out of the car all happy, start to walk into the house and walk dead into a spider web. And I've never had one in front of our door before like that. And man, I mean, it nailed me. It got all over me. For the next 15 minutes at least, I was still finding web on me. And it really nailed me. And what was really ironic about that is Sue says, man, I was just out that door about 10 minutes ago feeding the dogs, and I didn't have any problem. But I think it was just at my height, and she's shorter, and I think she just walked under it, So anyway, it nailed me. Let's see. Yeah, and Chuck made a guess on the other one. He says the other one is used to pull the cable off the post of a car battery. And you could use it for something like that, except that it's a little smaller. You probably can't tell the size, but it's a little small for that. But you probably could on some types of batteries. Let's see. Alan Watson, do you have any mandolins for sale? Asking for a friend. No, Alan, I don't, unfortunately. I just don't have any. Old Hickory, I can't see a fiddle on the back of that spider. Well, it's upside down. That's that dark spot right behind the head. Can you see that kind of the oval shaped dark spot, and then the black thing going down from the oval spot? That black thing is the neck. So in other words, it's upside down. It's like if you were holding a fiddle in this configuration. And here's the head of the spider here. It's right there. And I think it's pretty obvious. Even on this, it's fairly obvious. But on like I said, on some of them, I promise you on some of them, it looks exactly like somebody painted a real fiddle on them. I mean, it really does on some of them. This one's, you can tell, though, that that's what this one is. Okay, well, if you can't see it now, I don't know how to help you. But you were creative in how you put a fiddle and bow there as a little icon there. That's pretty cute how you did that. On a Plane is in Glasgow. Cool, very cool. It's 3 o'clock here in Norway. Yeah, that's what I kind of figured it'd be somewhere around that time. Dan Lancy, I used the second one to attach a block and tackle to a tree limb. Yeah, you could kind of maybe sort of do that. I don't know if that one would be, I don't know if I'd consider that one sturdy enough to do that. I mean, the chain would be sturdy enough, but I don't know if I'd trust that for sure for holding. If it was made a little different, you could do that. Kathy Volts, I had a spider on my shower curtain yesterday. I wasn't going to get close enough to see any design. He or she is no longer. Yeah, I find it, I don't mean to make fun of it, but I find it kind of humorous that people are so scared, so afraid of spiders. I truly don't get that one because there's not much to a spider, really. I mean, even a black widow, you can just walk up to it and go, and he's dead, just like that. There's just nothing to it. They're that easy to kill. They're, there's just nothing to them. I'm saying that even having been been bit. I've been bit 3 different times by brown recluse spiders, and once by a daddy longlegs. And people probably are going, yeah, you've never been bit by a daddy longlegs. I promise you, I absolutely have. And I never, ever thought they could bite. I played with them things as a kid, daddy longlegs spiders. Kids always futz around with them, especially boys, And never once was I ever bitten by one of those things. Picked them up, did all kinds of mean things, probably pulled their legs off, did everything. You know how boys are. And anyway, never, ever, not one single time got bit by one. I was under my wife's car working on her trailer lights for some reason, out in the grass. I was in the grass under one of those walnut trees just outside the shop here. And, ones I thought were butternut, but now we find are hybrid walnuts. I was under that shade, under her truck, and I felt something sting me on the arm and thought it was a mosquito. And I thought, what is that? And, I'm busy and I'm thinking, gosh dang it, and so I reach around and I look like this, and it's a daddy longlegs, and he's got his head down on my arm and he's biting me. It's real obvious. And I thought, well, that's crazy. And that irritated for about, there's a myth out there on the internet that they're the most venomous spiders in the world. The only reason that nobody dies from them is because their mouth is too small to bite a human. And, there's all kinds of myths out there about daddy longlegs. If you don't believe me, go look. You'll find them. Anyway, it irritated the skin for, I don't know, hour and a half. That was late in the evening. By 10:30 that night, it was completely gone. It just a little bit like a mosquito bite. It was about that irritating type of thing. Let's see. Moving down through here. But anyway, I've been bit by brown recluse 3 different times. The first time was a pretty strong reaction. It was super, super, super hot. I mean, like hot that anybody would touch it and go, wow, that's hot. It was crazy hot, my arm. And I'd put ice on it. The ice would melt within just a couple of minutes. I mean, literally melt the ice. And I'd put more ice on it, put more ice on it. I did that for at least a day and a half, and then it started easing up. And then by the 3rd day, it was pretty much gone. Never did fester up like a lot of people get the fester up. The second one that bit me, bothered me, I think like maybe most of a day or, maybe a day and a half, something like that. And the third one was about like a mosquito bite. It's a little more intense than a mosquito bite for a little while, but it wasn't much. It really wasn't. So I'm not too worried about them anymore. Windshield wiper puller, somebody says there. Yeah, so several people have got the puller idea down, that's for sure. So we got David Tharp, he says he's from Southeast Missouri. Dan Lancy says it looks like a puller. Mark Nadsom, I have seen the chain thing before, but I forget what it was used for. Richard Busby, looks like a windscreen wiper puller. Dottie Hildebrand, bearing puller. Yeah, there you guys are right on the puller thing. I thought it would fool more people than it's fooled. I really didn't think that many people would guess it was a puller. I figured all the mechanic type people, farmer type people would probably get it. Maybe that's all that watch my channel. I don't know. Did you get anything on the truck chassis? Not really, no. I haven't found out anymore. Payday 1963 says, hi Jerry, when will we see the quarter sawn tops and backs for sale on your website? That will be a while coming if that happens. And it'll probably be the Sycamore. And, I've just got too many projects in front of it. But if I'm going to get to that, it'll be this winter, I would think. I wouldn't do anything. that gum little gnat just keeps flying around. Anyway, yeah, I would wait until it's got to be frozen here, because I'm telling you, the ticks and the chiggers here will kill you. I mean, it's just unbelievable bad. And no more information on the truck chassis. Old Hickory, ha ha ha, I see it, Jerry. Okay, so he's talking about the fiddle. William McCormick, love your never give up attitude. Well, thank you. Blackjack guitar, Jerry, they should call it a fiddle spider instead of a recluse. Yeah, a lot of people do actually call it a fiddle type spider. But I really always did think that was pretty darn ironic that you see so many of them here in a luthier shop, you know. And you hardly ever, and I'm seriously telling you, you hardly ever see any other kind of spider, especially around here with so many brown recluse, because I think they prey on everything else. The brown recluse, I think, are the the lions of the jungle. You know what I mean? I think they really are. I think they kind of rule the roost. You'll have those. You don't have too many other ones. So from that standpoint, maybe it's kind of good. I don't know. But like I said, spiders don't really bother me at all. Snakes don't really bother me at all, unless they're within striking distance and they're poisonous, and then they bother me, But I'm not worried about just your average snake or anything like that. Let's see. Yeah, and by the way, the recluse part is kind of ironic also, because they're not very reclusive, although they do hide in things, but you see them everywhere. Yeah, Carolyn Fike says she's late, but she's here. Blackjack Guitar says, Daddy long-legged spiders are poisonous, Jerry. Yeah, that's the rumor out on the internet, and they're not. Well, I mean, they probably have some kind of toxin for some specific purpose. They probably do, because they're a spider. But like I said, it wasn't even a mosquito bite. And I know for sure that was a daddy long-legged spider that bit me, because I was going, what in the heck I was busy working, and I'd feel this thing bite me on the arm. I just assumed it was a mosquito's, because it's kind of what it felt like. And it was a daddy long-legged spider. The one and only time. Hugh O'Connor, I assume you know or heard of Blood in the Scarecrow by John Mellencamp. Blood on the Scarecrow. No, I don't think so. I know I've heard of John Mellencamp, but I don't know of that particular, I guess, song. Russell Allen, what is year and make of your dump truck? It's a 57 F350. It's just a 1-ton dump truck. My son was using it on a hillside and on a hillside like this, dumped the load and twisted the bed really badly. So that's what I'm trying to fix. He had it fixed. He paid to have it fixed, but yeah, you know how that works. Like I told you, the motivation for you, and you kind of need to think about this for yourself. If you got something that needs to be fixed, you take it somewhere. Think about the person's motivation. Most of the time, at least in this modern crazy day, most of the time the motivation is, I'm going to get this done real quick and collect my money. That's kind of the motivation, and you could kind of tell that's how they fixed the dump truck. So anyway, I mean, it sort of kind of was workable when we got it back, and we did use it, and I did haul a few loads with it, but man, you could just tell it wasn't right anymore. So I took it apart. Let's see. Yeah, Chuck says I could use the laser level to check the flatness of the truck frame. There's no reason to have to. I mean, I can tell it's not straight. That part there is pretty. I'm just trying to decide, was it supposed to be straight, or was it actually made that way? And to me, it looks like it was made that way. I see no wrinkles. I see no stretch places. I see no, generally, if you take a piece of channel iron and you bend it any amount, you're going to see some kind of stress somewhere. And I don't see any stress on this. It looks to me like it was made that way. Dottie Hillebrand says she hates spiders, but they're better than snakes. Pink Floyd 091975 says, howdy partner. Howdy back. Mark Nadzen, since I moved here with Yolanda, have seen more daddy longleg spiders in Missouri than anywhere else I have ever been. There are times, and I don't recall what time of the year it was, but there are times like under a porch or someplace like that, sort of slightly protected from the weather, where you'll see those things congregate. And I mean, they almost by themselves look like a spider web. There'll be so many of them congregate. I guess it's a breeding season or something for them or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how spiders work, But you'll see so many of them, you'll think, what is that? And it'd be a whole bunch of daddy long-legged spiders. I've seen it more than once. Well, guys, that's going to be about it for today. We're going to keep it short. Thank you all for joining me. Thanks for guessing on my mystery items. I really thought I'd stump you guys better than that, actually. I kind of thought this one here, nobody would get this one. A couple of you did. Well, thank you, guys. We'll see you down the road.